Well, this week's drought monitor that was released this past Thursday morning, and as you can imagine, still pretty dry, especially across Nebraska. However, you see some nice improvements, especially across Kansas. There also were some in Nebraska. Take a closer look now at the state of Kansas. No drought. The state represents about 26.75%. Believe it or not, a 25.25% improvement compared to last week. Abnormally dry stands at about 73.25%. Moderate drought now stands at about 33%, a third of the state in that category. Actually, a 20.5% improvement compared to the week prior. Meanwhile, severe drought now stands at just 3.36% to be exact, about an 8% improvement compared to last week. And as we can see, still no extreme or exceptional drought across Kansas. So good to see that. Some improvements there. Also some improvements in Nebraska. Moving up to the north, no drought now stands about 6.1%, which means roughly 94% of the state still in abnormally dry conditions. Still a 6% improvement compared to last week. Moderate drought now stands about 85.2%. Roughly a 3% improvement compared to the week prior. Severe drought, about 70.75%, just a slight improvement from last week. And extreme drought actually went the other way, unfortunately, about 8.7%, about a 1% reduction compared to the week prior, especially the Panhandle. They really need some rain out there. November temperature outlook that remains the same as last week's report. Still expecting relatively above average temperatures for almost all Nebraska, with the exception of the western half and maybe the extreme northwest part of Kansas. Expecting closer to average totals, but expecting relatively warmer temperatures, although maybe not seeming like it later this week. November precipitation totals still expecting relatively above average totals for really central and eastern Nebraska, most of Kansas. And again, average totals expected elsewhere. Next 3 months, still the rest of November as well as December and January. Looks like above average temperatures for really all of Nebraska and all of Kansas. And again, 3-month precipitation wise, relatively average totals expected for all of Nebraska, a good chunk of Kansas with the exception of southwestern Kansas. Well, your Grow Almanac here normally see a high right around 49 for this time of year. Normal low stands about 26, so it's starting to get a little bit chillier. Week ahead looking to be about average, believe it or not, 48. Weekend average low at 32. So again, a very typical week. Of course, starting off our week with a little bit of rainfall on our Monday. Again, a pretty good chance of rain. Hopefully get some good totals out of this one as well. And again, those temperatures still kind of maybe on the chilly side. Of course, maybe some of the coldest air we've seen all year, but could still maybe see a slim snow chance again towards the middle of the week. It doesn't look to be all that great. Of course, your Grow proverb here for the week: moonlight nights have the hardest frosts. Of course, the reason why all that heat's getting allowed to escape into space, hence the temperatures allowed to get colder at the surface. Let's check if your Grow weather report. Stay tuned next week when once again it'll be time to grow.
Want to see your pictures, go to Nebraska.tv. Make sure to chime in, and we especially want to see those fall photos. Whether showing cattle or woodworking to create awards for cattle shows, our Farm Youth of the Month, his world revolves around livestock, and we'll meet him coming up.